Let's carry on then, substituting our audio so that we can remove our original recording, the rehearsal room recording, and have it substituted with the more professionally recorded studio recording. First of all, I'm going to add an audio track, and this audio track is going to be used for our studio recording. I'll right-click down here and drop down to my middle option, Insert Audio Track. Notice the shortcut, Ctrl+Q. Okay, so track 3 there, that's the track that I'm going to use to place my audio recording on, my studio recording. Well, I keep referring to it as my studio recording. It's actually the studio recording that Josh and his band provided for me. Recorded in America and via the beauties of the internet, he sent to me over here in the UK. Anyway, there is our audio track, the MP3 file there. I'll double click on it to send it directly to my track. Now it's sent directly to track 3 because that's the track that I'd got selected. Right, now we've got some work to do, because in the previous tutorial we set up a marker that indicated where the guitar solo kicked in. What we now have to do is exactly the same thing, but with the studio recording. We've got to find the exact same position where the guitar solo kicks in, insert a marker, and then on our timeline it's a simple case of matching up where the markers are. Okay, so having the audio on our timeline there on track 3 at the moment isn't all that worthwhile because we've not got a marker inserted. So what I suggest you do is come up to Edit and remove it from our timeline for the time being, and then left click on the MP3 and drag over into our trimmer window. And this way, because our trimmer window has a larger display area than our track on track 2 or on track 3 for the audio, then it's much easier, in my opinion anyway, to be able to add a marker with more precision. And in fact, I'm going to zoom in more closely on our user interface so that we can see the trimmer window much more clearly. Okay, that's better. Right, looking at our waveform display here now, I know roughly that the guitar solo kicks in around about 47 seconds in, 48, 49 seconds, something like that. So I'll place my cursor roughly there. I'll use the zooming in option down here, left click and drag to the left, and that now zooms me in around my CTI position. I'll do the same with the left hand locator as well, and in fact just by vacillating between the left and right there, well, you can see we can zoom in very closely. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to play this back, so I'll move my CTI just to the position where I think it should come in and I'll audition it. I'll hit play now. Okay, it is roughly there. Now you couldn't hear that because I've got the audio muted, so I'll unmute it. Now I'm doing all this off screen. It's not actually part of Vegas Pro 12. It's part of the screen capture recording process that we use for VTC. So don't get puzzled and looking around for how I've just muted and unmuted the audio. Anyway, the audio is now back on. So I'll move my CTI to about there. I think that's fairly close to the position. By the way, we don't need to have this totally accurate because I can adjust this further down the line when I'm on the timeline. So let me just check. I'll come down to hit the play button once more. Here we go. Close, but not quite. I'll just bring it back slightly and try again. Here we go. Okay, now I think that's fairly close. Okay, now in reality I would be much more precise with this, and I will be off screen when I'm creating the final video. I'm just showing you the process here. So imagine that this is exactly the position I want to use. Well, come up to Insert and then roll down and click on Marker, and there you go. There is our marker added at that position where the guitar solo kicks in, so this now should mirror, or anyway fairly closely mirror, the original rehearsal room audio where we placed the marker on that track. Now if I move my cursor just to the left, then you can see that very thin orangey brown vertical line, and that's my marker position. We're going to line this up when I take this down onto my timeline with the marker position that we did in the previous tutorial for the rehearsal room audio.